welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've watched any of my previous videos. My name is Brittany. Make sure to subscribe if you like all things beauty, some travel, vlogs, just kind of everything in between. But today's video is actually an update to my very first video on my channel. I say very first as if I've been doing this for years, but this was, 6 months ago. It was literally January 1st of this year, and here we are at June, halfway point through the year. So I'm here to give an update on the goals that I'd set myself for this year and like progress that I've made, how I've changed and flexed with them, and kind of like how the year has been so far, because here we are halfway through the year, which is kind of insane to think about. Also, I don't know if you can hear my dog in the back literally slurping or going to town on a Kong, but she wanted to sit in my lap and climb all over me, so I was the only way I could keep her occupied. Anyway, if you didn't watch my video that I mentioned, my intro video, which was like my goals for 2023, what I'm leaving in 2022, I'll link that down in the description. So go back and watch that first, or watch this and then go back and see like how much I've truly come in 6 months. But anyway, let's get started. So one thing that I mentioned was like a huge goal of mine for 2023 was to stop with my like overconsumption, because I just felt like it was getting to be too much. I was buying too much stuff like at whim, and I didn't need a lot of it, and I just like wasn't being mindful about like my shopping. So I honestly think I've done a great job at this. I've made a lot of progress, which sounds so silly to say, but like, because like, yeah, there are other things like maybe making like meaningful progress in, but to me this like did feel meaningful, because it's good for like my wallet, and also like there's no perfect way to be a consumer in like the society that we live in, but like if I can help by scaling back my shopping or just like being mindful of where I'm buying things from, then I can kind of help contribute to like maybe improving the economy a little bit, just like kind of things like that. So anyway, I have really done a good job at, like I said, not making any splurge or not making any like random one-off purchases like how I would before. Like I was ordering from Amazon like crazy, or I just would see something, click the link, and like it'd be like in my home in like 2 days. But I have been so much better at it. Like so I kind of had said before, like I buy a lot of products in general. Every time I see something cool, or not cool, something that I'm intrigued by, especially in the skincare and beauty realm, I would be like, oh, let me get that. And especially once I started working at Sephora and I had my employee discount, I would do it in a heartbeat. So I told myself though at the end of last year, I was like, now I have too much stuff. What I need to do is like finish a whole, like if I have a cleanser that I'm using, I need to completely finish that cleanser before I buy a new one. If I have a serum that I'm using of whatever it is, I need to finish that one before I buy a new one, because I wasn't doing that. Even the other day I was like, wow, this is such a great example of my restraint. I love that. I love pretty much all Summer Fridays products, but the CC serum, which is our vitamin C serum, I'm like a huge fan of. But I ran out of it, and I want to say like November of last year, and I was using like a Sephora collection one that I liked but didn't love, and then I had another one, I don't even remember the brand of it. I was using the Edam milk Marvel serum, which is also a vitamin C serum, very similar to this Summer Friday CC Me serum, which I liked that too. But I was like, okay, once I finish this, I think I'm gonna go back to the Summer Fridays, like my tried and true. So I finished it. I bought a new Summer Fridays CC serum. I want to say it was my day 2 of using it. I dropped it somehow in my bathroom, like right on the corner of my sink, and it's glass since it's like recyclable, and I hit it like literally just perfectly on the corner, on like the corner of the bottle, and it shattered. Pretty much a full bottle of this shattered all over my sink. The glass was like, actually wasn't that bad with the glass, it's pretty thick. I was devastated, and I was like, I just bought this. Granted, I did get my employee discount on it, but still, I was like, okay, well, now what do I do? Old Brittany would have immediately bought another one and like, or left right then to go to Sephora to get another one, but I didn't do that, and I was very proud of myself. I actually have a bunch of Summer Fridays things to recycle, so you can recycle 5 things and you get $25 gift card. I actually had like 12 things, so I sent 10 of them in, and I'm getting a $50 gift card, and I was like, I'll wait till I get that $50 gift card, and then when I get that, I will buy my new CC serum, because that will cover like the bulk of the cost. So that just sounds so simple and silly, but like for me, I was like, you know what, that's actually really good, and like very mindful. So I'm looking at my notes to like make sure I remember everything that I'm saying. So yes, I've just been being more intentional about my shopping or buying. I really haven't bought very many new clothes. I bought a few things here and there. Like I bought new bras because I really needed them, but I haven't bought a ton of new clothes. But I have been doing Rent the Runway, which I've posted one haul on here of so far, and I'll probably do a few more. But that's also been helpful because I mean it's sustainable anyway, because you're like renting clothes, kind of like Nuuly or things like that. But it's kind of nice to like I went on a trip and I just like rented stuff from Rent the Runway instead of like buying new clothes. And because then they would be things like I probably would wear them again, but like I didn't need a whole new wardrobe or whatever. So it's been nice to like do Rent the Runway. So I think that's helping a little bit. I mean, that's like my impulse of like still wanting something new, but I'm not like buying a whole entire new, like, I'm not buying new clothes every couple weeks or every month. I'm like spending the one time amount on the membership and then getting like multiple things throughout the month that I can wear and mix and match however I want. So I feel like I have been making some strides on my overconsumption. I'm trying to keep it up. And even just things like I'm moving in like a month or so, like into a new apartment. And when my last move, I tried to be like really conscious of not buying single use, like anything, like no single use boxes, no single use plastics and things like that to like wrap stuff in. And like I used like stuff I already had, like blankets, t-shirts, like I used luggage. I bought like reusable boxes that I like rented and then they picked back up. So I'm trying to do that again. And then also be mindful of like, just because I'm moving into a new place, I don't need to buy all new stuff. Like I don't need a new bed. Like I don't need to get rid of what I have and like buy something new. So again, just trying to be mindful in any way that I can. But I feel like I've been off to a really good start. So 6 months in, feel good about that goal. Okay, another thing that I said I wanted to work on was getting into like back into a really healthy lifestyle. This is something I'm still struggling with. And I mean, I have definitely made some improvements, but I've just really, really, really been having a hard time. And I can't put my finger on exactly what it is. I mean, I think it's a couple of different things, but it's hard to like nail down. Like I did run my half marathon actually just a few days ago. So I ran it with my friend Leah and her sister Lauren. And I mean, we all kind of said we didn't feel like we trained our best. I feel like I know I didn't train my best. Like I probably put 30% into like the training that I should have. And I mean, it was my worst time for a half marathon ever, but I still made it across the finish line. And that was one of my biggest goals. And it was like very much a wake up call of I was like, okay, I know I can do this and I know I can be better at this. I've run much better times in other races and other half marathons. I've run my full marathon and I didn't feel good, which is how I've been feeling in general about like my body and moving around. Like it's like I feel like my bones hurt a little bit. Like I know some of that is getting older, but it's just also I know my body. I'm carrying around too much weight and my body isn't as healthy as it should be. And I know like my eating could probably be a little bit better, but it's not that bad. It's not like I'm eating like 10 cheese pizzas a day or like binging on food. I actually just went to my doctor earlier today, this morning, and talked to her kind of about like just like where I am, like what I'm having a really hard time with. And I think I mentioned this in my first video too. Like I had to go back on high blood pressure medication like about a year ago just because of how much weight I've put on. And so I talked to her about like kind of how I want to really course correct all these things and like what I'm trying to do. So I think kind of like my next step now is trying out some different, just trying out weight loss medication. Because at this point it seems like maybe there is something metabolic that's like kind of keeping me from losing weight. So we will see how that goes. I'm like determined to just like improve, just to be healthy and like feel like light on my feet, feel like I can go for a run, like do a workout and not feel like I'm dying like by the end of it. So that is like one of my big goals. So yeah, like I said, I did my half marathon. I have not lost any weight, maybe like 1 pound over the past like 6 months. I did start the whole 30 that I mentioned in my first video. I was just gonna do a whole 15. I think I got 7 days into it and I was just like, this is a little bit overwhelming right now. It's kind of stressing me out. And I just like, again, I don't know what it is, but it's like my mindset. I just need help like turning it around a little bit. So the first half of this year has been realizing, okay, maybe I need someone to help me with this. Maybe I can't really do this on my own. So the last half of this year is gonna focus on like now that I maybe have the help that I need and like guidance and all of that, let's get right. Like, let's get back to Brittany 2020, 2019, not 2021 or 2022, or even the first half of 2023. Those were some rough times. So yes, there's more to come on that. we'll see. But I feel better about it as of like this week. Okay, so then another thing I wanted to work on was establishing an evening routine. This I kind of actually feel pretty good about. It's not perfect. Like I'm not doing everything that I want to do, and I'm not doing this evening routine every day of the week. Like I'd say I probably make it like 3 or 4 days out of the week. But I have been doing better about like doing my nighttime skincare. I've been, again, not consistently every single day, but as much as I can remember or try to keep up with, I've been gua shaing, which I do feel like was helping with like some facial sculpting and stuff too. So I want to stick to that and maybe even build on that a little bit more. But then I feel like I've been sleeping a lot better since I nailed down this part of my routine. So I do take melatonin a lot to like help me fall asleep, because sometimes I have a hard time just like shutting my eyes. But I take it most nights, not every single night, but also sometimes I'll have like magnesium or something like that. But then I've been having peppermint tea basically every night before I go to bed. And the combination of those two things, or even really, I think the peppermint tea is what seals the deal. And I don't know if it's just now the ritual of drinking the tea. I feel like I fall asleep in like 5 minutes and then I'm out. So I think I'm getting my nighttime routine down. It's like making me feel relaxed at the end of the day. And then I feel like that's making me sleep better and then setting me up to like have a really good day the next day. And like I said or before, my morning routine, I got that down. Feel good about that. I love my morning routine, but my evening routine is where I wanted to make some improvements, and I think I'm on my way. So feeling good about it, but again, still maybe some room for improvement to like make it a little bit more consistent. Because yeah, okay, so what I will say is the skincare is the worst part that I keep up with, because if I don't have makeup on, sometimes I like forget to do my full skincare routine. But the days that I have makeup on, which I have been wearing makeup a little bit more here and there, I feel like I'm really good about doing my skincare, because I have to at the very least take my makeup off. Okay, and then my last like goal for the year or whatever was to kind of not set any expectations for, or like release myself, I guess, from, that sounds really dramatic, from expectations of like what my life should and could look like. And I feel like that I've really knocked out of the park. So I guess, or no, I guess what I really said was like living my life like for me and only me, which again, I feel like I've really knocked out of the park. So I mean, I've planned a lot for myself. I feel like throughout the year, like I have some like cool trips that I'm really excited about, some that I've already done. I went on my very first ever solo trip, which was honestly really fun. And I was like, why have I never done this before? So 12 out of 10 would recommend like going on a solo trip. And then I actually am going on a little bit of a solo trip. Like I'm doing part of a trip solo and then meeting up with a friend for like a big chunk of it. Later on in the fall to like Amsterdam and Paris. I am going to see the Beyonce concert 3 times this summer, because like why not? Going to New York, going to the US Open over Labor Day weekend. And then I feel like those are like the biggest things I'm thinking of right now. Because like I said, I really only have me to consider in my life right now. So like, why not make the most of this time and like do literally everything that I want to do within the realm of like what I can and can afford and like have the time to do. So I'm really, really like, that's really where I am in my life right now. Oh, and then even just like success of like what my YouTube channel looks like. For me, like I think I said this in my last video, was just honestly starting my YouTube channel and then being consistent with it, which I feel like I have been now. Like, I mean, I don't have a ton of subscribers, thanks to everyone that does subscribe, but I've only been doing this for 6 months. I haven't really been promoting it a lot. I've just been genuinely posting videos and like organically picking up people here and there. But it's really fun to do this. Like this is like a very fun outlet. I really like making and like creating things and learning how to use like the different editing softwares and like how to post to YouTube and stuff like that has been really like fun. And so this is something I'm definitely going to stick with at least through the rest of the year, and probably just like ongoing. Now I have a good cadence of I'm posting every 2 weeks, every Friday at about 10 a.m. or noon, I think, East Coast time. No, noon my time. Whatever time the videos go up, every other Friday. And that is like a really good cadence for me. And I've also like, I've made I've kind of planned out the schedule of like videos I want to post for the rest of the year, but they also work into things I'm already doing in my life. So it's not like I'm going out of my way to create this content. I mean, except for like this video right now, but this is like a pretty short one, but I'm not like creating these like events and like things that I need to record. It's just like, this is kind of like my life, and I'm catching like glimpses of it along the way and putting it into these videos, which is kind of fun. So yeah, those were like those were the biggest, I feel like, takeaways of my goals for the year. Oh, I guess to add to that, I feel really good about how I just like live every day. Like, okay, I feel really fulfilled, I guess, in the way that like I'm living my life right now, which is great. Like, that's really the end goal at the end of the day. So those were the big goals, I guess you'd say, big goals I set for myself at the beginning of the year, and that's progress I've made on them so far. Definitely still have some room to grow in like several of them or most of them, and the year's not over. Who knows what like I or any of these goals or my life could look like in December. I'll be back for an update, but in the meantime, things are going great. So I'm happy with how I feel like I'm happy with like where I am and the progress that I'm making. And I'm really glad that I set these goals for myself at the beginning of the year, because it kind of gave me like a guiding light throughout the year, if that makes sense. And even just like knowing that like my whole, I guess, like word for the year was intention. So like that was really helpful for me too. So anyway, thanks for listening. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments like if you have goals that you've set for yourself, and if you've accomplished them, if you haven't, if you felt like you've needed to change them, or like how your life hasn't made you like feel like you need to change them. But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. But make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks again for watching. See you on the next one.